Hello everybody. In this video I'm gonna talk about statistics. Statistics is a branch of mathematics that give us information using the numbers. Actually, it uses numbers to give us the information about different things. As an example, when I say there are 25 male students and 30 female students in the math class. These 25 and these 30s are just the numbers. Okay, but by using these numbers, we can have information that how many male students are inside the math class, as an example, 25 male students, and how many female students, as an example, 30 female students are inside the math class. And if we add these two numbers, 25 plus 30, 55 is the total number of students that participate in the mathematics class. As you see, all of these numbers give us the information. Now, for showing the information in the easier way, in a way that is easier to understand, we use graphs. Graphs is a method of showing the information with easier and attractive ways. If you see that the flyers, all of them are full of graphs, pictures, colorful graphs, and this type of thing to make it more attractive and transfer the information in the much more easier way compared with just using the numbers and tables and this type of things. We have different type of graphs. One type is pictograph. The other type is circle graph or bar graph, broken line graphs or histograms, or many other types. In this session, I'm gonna talk about pictograph, circle graph, bar graph, broken line graph, and just mention what is histogram. In the pictograph, we use symbols to show the information. What it means. As an example, let's say, look at this pictograph. And let's say David, Tom, and Sarah. Okay, look at this information. Okay, as an example, and this explanation. Okay, let's say this graph, we call it pictograph, that use pictures or symbols to show the information. Okay, and the title of the graph we can define is as a number of money that each person has in his or her wallet. Okay, amount of money that each person has in his or her wallet. And I'm defining this symbol as this symbol is gonna be equivalent or equal to $10. This half symbol is equal to $5. If I look at this one, I can say that I can see that David has $30 because his three symbol is front of David name. And Tom has $25, two $10 full symbol and one half symbol, which is $5. So total gonna be 25. And Sarah has $20. Okay, can you see this type of showing, representing the data, the information is much more easier than if I just write this table, draw this table, and say Sarah, and then Tom, and David. and it's gonna be, as an example, 20, Tom 25, and David 30. Can you just compare this table with numbers with this picture? Okay, this picture is gonna be more attractive and more easier to transfer the information, to show the information, if we compare with this table, especially when the number of amount of information is we have too much information to show. If it was a big table, then it's going to be hard to understand, or actually it's not attractive at all. But in this way we can make it colorful, define more attractive symbol and this type of thing to show the information. In this type of graph we call it pictograph, that we use a symbol to show the information. Okay, now by showing this pictograph, we can calculate or we can extract much more information from the pictograph. As an example, how much is the total money that these three persons have? If we add this one, if we just count the icons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and half, and each of them 7 is $70 and half is $5. So these three persons in total, they have $75. Or I can say, what is the ratio of money of Sarah to David? How much is the ratio of Sarah's money to David money? So I can say Sarah to David. Okay, how much is Sarah's money is 20. How much is David money is 30. So ratio of Sarah's money to David money is 20 to 30. But remember, when we are writing in the fractional format, always we have to simplify. So if I simplify this one, it's going to be 2 over 3. Ratio of Sarah's money to David money is 2 over 3. What it means? It means for every $2 that Sarah have, David will have $3. Okay, or for every $4 of Sarah, David will have $6 of Sarah. The ratio is 2 over 3. Or again, we can say, what is the ratio of Sarah's money to the total? Again, Sarah's money is 20. Total money we calculated is 75. And again, we have to simplify this one. We can simplify by 5, which is going to be 4 over, and 75 by 5 is 50. Okay, so it's the ratio of Sarah's money to total money is going to be 4 over 50. Okay, or we can say what percent of Tom's money is, or we can say Tom's money is what percent of total money, and we can calculate it. Anyway, this part we call it pictograph. We use symbol to show the information. And we can answer the question related to the pictograph. When you are reading the question and you are doing test, just read the explanation of the question carefully, because sometimes the number of symbols are too many. Counting them take times, or sometimes have a risk of mistakes. But sometimes in the explanation of the pictograph give us the information. As an example, it says the total money of this 3% is $75. So we don't need to calculate this one, because at the explanation at the beginning of the question is mentioned that how much is the total amount of money. Okay, so this one is about pictograph. The second type of the graph that we use to show the information is circle graph. In the circle graph, we use a circle to show the information. As an example, look at this circle. Okay. Now, let's say in this circle, we are showing the number of full-time and part of the, or let's show this one. We are showing the number of students in math class, in biology class, and in English class. So we can say this part is for math, this part is for biology, and this part is for English. Okay, even without showing the date, using the numbers, paying attention to the numbers, by using this circle graph, we can see that the number of students in English class is bigger than the number of students in math class and biology class. Okay, in the circle graph, we show the amount of information or the amount of data by using the part of the circle. Okay, and we can say that because this part in English is bigger sector, it means the number of students in English class are more than the other one. And because the biology is smaller than the two others part, we can say that the sector is smaller than two other classes. We can say the number of students in biology class are less than the others. Again, we can write this one as an example. In English class, we have 50 students. In math class, we have, let's say, 30 students, and in the biology class, we have 15 students. Okay, or sometimes we show the information using percent. Okay, let's say English is, I'm just using the example, the English is 60%, this one is 40%, and this one is, as an example, 15%. We can use the percent, or sometimes in the circle graph they use the number of each sector. In this case, the number of students in each class. It can be number of students, it can be amount of money, it can be amount of energy that we are producing in each, let's say, province of the country. Anyway, in the circle graph, we use the information inside the circle. Each part has a sector of a total circle. Okay. In the other type of graph that we are showing to show we are using to show the information, we call it bar graph. In the bar graph, we use the column to show the information. As an example, look at this bar. Let's say this is the month January, February, and March. Okay, and this is the amount of snow that we have in each of these months. The snow in centimeters. Let's say a snow centimeter. Okay, let's say in January we have 10, 15, 20. Let's say in January we have 20 centimeters of snow. Okay, in February we have 15 centimeters of snow, and in March we have 10 centimeters of snow, as an example. Okay, as you see again in this part, we can see the most of the snow we have in January. Without paying attention in the numbers, we can see easily that in which month we have more snow, or in this case is a snow, but the other type we can have different type of information. Again, we call it bar graph. Okay, we can have a double bar graph, but which in each category we can use more than one information. As an example, if I change this one in math, in the different class, as an example, math, let's say English and computer, as an example. Okay, now in each class I can have more than one type of information. I can use, let's say, for math, I have this red column and I have this green column as an example. Okay, for English again I have this red column and I have this green column. And let's say for computer as well. Okay, and I can say here, I can mention here that red, green is female students and red is male students. Okay, now if you look at this double bar graph, we can say in math class the number of male students is almost 13, the number of female students is almost 17. In English class the number of male students is almost 15 and the number of female students is almost 12 as an example. Can you see in each category we can have more than one type of information. Again, this is another type of bar graph. We can have double bar graph, triple bar graph, which means in each category we can show 1, 2, 3 type of data. Okay, this part again we call it bar graph, and as you see just by looking at the top of the length of the columns we can figure out what is the information or what is the number of data. Pay attention in this part as an example. If I say for this part, sometimes it explain the number of students. We can explain number of students in hundreds as an example. Okay, pay attention to this explanation. It means math students is almost 12, but because it's in 100 it's gonna be 1200 or 1200. Number of female students is 17, but because the number of students is in 100 is gonna be 1700. So pay attention to this explanation or the other type of explanation that is written around the graph or is explained at the beginning of the question. If you don't pay attention to this part, then your answer to the question is going to be wrong. As an example, if the question asks how many math students we have in total, if I say this one is 12 and this one is 17, so in the total is 29, the number of math students, my answer is wrong because the number of students is in hundreds. So if this one is 29, is 29 hundredths. So pay attention always in the explanation of the graph that you have. Okay. The other type of graph that we have is broken line graph. What it means in broken line graph, we show the information in dot format. Let's say again, if I go back to the snowfall in different months, let's say in November, December, January and February as an example. Okay, and again 5, 10, 15 and 20 centimeter snow centimeter. Okay, so in November, let's say we have 10 centimeter of snow. In December we have 15. In January we have, let's say 5. I'm just creating the number. And in February we have I'm just making the numbers. This one. Okay. Now, if I connect this line, this point, sorry, if I connect this point using by the lines, then I'm creating the broken line, and we call it broken line graph. Okay. What is the benefit of this one compared to the bar graph or circle graph or pictograph? The benefit of this one, or the advantage of this one, we can see the trend of the data. As an example, from November to December is snowfall is increasing, then from December to January is decreasing, and from January to February again is increasing. But as you see, increasing in from November to December is sharper than increasing from January to February, and from December to January is decreasing sharply. We can see the trend of data when we are using the broken line graph. Okay, but remember, the data between November is 10. Data between December, as an example, is 15. Okay, if I just, this is the December. Okay, the data for December is 15. Is here. Okay, then November is 10. Between November and December, we don't have the data. It means, as an example, we cannot say at the end of November, if this is beginning of the November and this is the end of November, if I draw this line here and graph here, this point is 12. I cannot say at the end of the November we have 12 centimeters of the snowfall. We cannot say this one. The data exists only in the dot. This line is just for, this broken line is just for showing us the trend. There is no data between this point. So we have data here and we have data here. It's 10 and 15. Between the middle of these two, there is no data. Don't try to recognize or to extract data between these 2 points. Okay, so this one, again, we call it broken line graph. The other part of the other type of graph is histogram. I'm just explaining what is the histogram, but I don't want to go in, explain it very deep. Actually, the histogram is some type of bar graph, but in bar graph, the data are separated each other. As an example, we have math class and English class. There is no overlap between these two. One student can participate at the same time in math class at the same time, or in English class. As an example, let's say if the math class is 10 to 12 and English class is 10 to 12 at the same time, and the students cannot participate in both of them. It can be in here or the other one. There is nothing at the middle. But if it, as an example, say the consumption of the gas for a car, or the speed of the car. As an example, let's say the cars can drive in different speed. Let's say 100 kilometers per hour, and then 150 kilometers per hour, and 100 and 200 kilometers per hour, as an example. So we cannot say a car drive 100 kilometers and or 150. It cannot drive between these two. It's not right, because a car can travel, or a speed of a car can be 100 kilometers per hour, 101 kilometers, 102 kilometers, even 101 kilometers and half, or 100.5 kilometers. We can have any number between these two. So in histogram, instead of showing only one data, we use the range of the data. So we can say the cars traveling between 100 and 150 kilometers. Then we show in this format. 100 and 150 is here, and then 150 to 200, it can be here. Can you see? we have a range of data. The speed of a car that between 100 and 150, any number between these two, 100 or greater, 150 or less, any number can fit in this area. That as an example, its number is 10. Then between 150 and 200, this can be here. Okay, any number between these two, it can be in this area. And as an example, it's gonna be, if we count this far, it's gonna be 17 car as an example. Or again, pay attention here, sometimes it's the number of cars in hundreds. Okay, then you have to multiply by 100 or in thousands or whatever. This is, we call it histogram, that we show instead of one data, we show a range of data. Okay, these parts are all about the graphs, different type of the graph, and we can calculate different type of information from the graph that we are seeing. Okay, I hope that this video be useful for you, and see you in the next video.